From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Inside Politics.
Hello, everyone. I'm News Channel 5's political analyst, Pat Nolan. Welcome to Inside Politics. You might think today's show is a little bit off topic. With the group still pushing hard to bring Major League Baseball to Nashville, that effort will likely remain in the news as MLB approaches the end of its most unusual season ever. All this as all of sports continues to figure out how their games fit in and how they survive during a pandemic. Our guest to discuss those topics on Inside Politics this week is Nashville baseball historian Skip Nipper. Skip, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Pat. I always enjoy being with you.
You're an unpaid advisor to the group wanting to create the Nashville Stars as an MLB franchise. Given the uncertainty of sports, that's a little bit risky. What's the status of MLB doing expansion? Is it likely anytime soon?
I think it's likely. I think that the climate has been so put behind us as far as attention goes that I think that that's going to come forward as we go into the 2021.
Like any professional sports, there are strong franchises and weaker ones. Is it more likely rather than an expansion team, Nashville might get a relocated franchise, and who might that be?
I would think all options are on the table. There are weak franchises across the board, not just when you think of Tampa or you think of Oakland. There are franchises that are having a little bit of difficulty maintaining what they have been accomplishing over the past couple of years. Arizona comes to mind, Baltimore too.
Well, they've all lost money this season, I suspect. So it's one of the biggest reasons MLB may expand sooner than later, because the new owners who come in will have to pay a big fee to get in as part of the league, and they'll all share in that money, and the current owners may need that money.
Well, I hear $1 billion is what it's going to take to secure a team in Major League Baseball. And if you think about a current Major League Baseball team acquiring about $100 million as part of that fee, that sounds pretty good to me.
Nashville seems to be a strong candidate for the MLB team. If there is one when the expansion come or relocations come, have they got the kind of financial wherewithal to pay all these fees, and plus being involved in building a stadium or doing something like that?
I would think it's going to take about $5 billion. Now, I don't know the inside scoop on that, but I'm guessing that that's an ongoing initiative to try to bring those kind of dollars into the program.
So other things that might delay things a little bit, I mean, with the virus and the shortened season, doesn't MLB want to sort of see how that go, how the playoffs and the World Series go, what happens with the virus before assessing what to do next, and maybe push expansion and relocation into the future? And what about MLB status with its players?
Well, that's ongoing also, because they've got to come to some kind of an agreement with this players' agreement ending in October. And there are all kinds of negotiations that are going to happen, and surely there won't be another Major League Baseball strike. That would just be a death knell, I think, for a lot of these franchises.
You've already selected, the group's already selected a name and it created a logo. That would seem to be moving forward pretty aggressively. A lot of people might think your name selection as Stars is related to Nashville's musical celebrity, but it's really related to Nashville's own baseball history. Tell us about that.
Yeah, but it's a good tie-in. But yes, there was a Negro Southern League team in the early 1950s named the Nashville Stars. It was owned by Sue Bridgeforth, and it was actually, as I understand, a combination of teams that Teddy Ackland had along with Sue Bridgeforth, and they combined efforts. The old Del Morocco Stars and the New York Giants combined into one team for just a couple of seasons, but still it was a Negro League team nonetheless.
Your list of people that are helping you with this on an advisory committee includes a high-profile Tennessee music star, Justin Timberlake. What does he bring to the group? And from a marketing perspective, doesn't he seem to reach out to a younger demographic that are not normally seen as baseball fans?
Well, of course it does, and it's kind of funny when that announcement made. I had a few emails wanting to know if I could secure an autograph on a baseball from Justin Timberlake. And I think also it has also driven other country music or entertainment stars into that initiative as well. So I think the stamp of approval of Justin Timberlake on that says a lot.
Are we likely to see more Nashville music celebrities being involved in this effort? I mean, a lot of them were involved in the Nashville Sounds, particularly back in the early days, back in the late 70s and early 80s.
Yeah, in fact, Larry Schmittou would tell us that Conway Twitty, without his endorsement, the Nashville Sounds may have never happened. So I think those kinds of things are going to happen down the road. You're going to see more and more of those stars come into the Stars program.
The Stars group has also recruited a number of former Major League Baseball executives such as Dave Dombrowski and some players such as Dave Stewart to help the efforts. Is that standard for people that have done expansions and franchises in the past to give Nashville an edge in getting a team?
Well, I think so. You know, Derek Jeter headed up a group that owns now the Miami Marlins. Those kind of things are, once again, it gives a stamp of approval. Tony La Russa is a part of this also. He stands outside because he's a member of the, he's being paid by the Los Angeles Dodgers as an advisor. But I think that also adds to the narrative.
The MLB effort here in Nashville began some months ago, but in this age now of heightened racial concerns and the Black Lives Matter movement, does the team's name and its connection to the Negro Leagues and the actual connection this group has with the Negro Baseball Hall of Fame in Kansas City help Nashville in getting an MLB team? Is the political correctness right on this?
I would think that that was not the original idea, but I think it does help bring some calm, doesn't it? I mean, it also talks into a segment of our history that has been not ignored, but has not been highlighted until this season with the 100th anniversary of the Negro Leagues.
You also have some very nice drawings and renderings of what a proposed ballpark will look like. Any reports on where that facility might be built?
I do not know that. I know that the drawings are very nice, and I think that would be a nice place to have a ballpark, but surely there are other areas that are being looked at.
As you're aware, are you aware of any talks going on with Mayor John Cooper about the city putting it and building it over on the East Bank, and is there enough land over there to put the stadium over there? Would you also need the Phillips Metals property?
Well, we all need to do something about the Phillips Metals property, and no problem with them, but that's a valuable piece of property. And not only with Mayor Cooper, I'm sure there are conversations in the background going on in many different areas.
The Titans are already on the East Bank. Are they supportive of a ballpark being built over there? Are they supportive overall of having another major league team in town?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but just from a citizen standpoint, wouldn't that be a nice opportunity for the Titans and the Stars to come together and build their own entertainment complex that includes two facilities and all the things that can go with it at the East Bank? I think that's just a terrific opportunity for both sides.
Dr. Skip Nipper, Nashville baseball historian, is our guest on Inside Politics. Back to continue our conversation with him after this break.